weapon is it? Don't play the games with me. What kind of weapon is it?
You see? Oh, damn. You see? That's not easy. All right, folks. It's happened. All the buildup, all the anticipation, all the excitement. It's went down. All the episodes of Halo have dropped. The show for this season, for now, has come and gone. And so now the only question that remains is, was it good? Well, good thing for you. We here at the Blerd Insights show are going to give you the definitive answer right about now.
He doesn't really make those types of when, you know, you're not the blockbuster type of guy.
First of all, out of the gate, this show damn near gets the Blerd Insight seal of approval just by having so many black people alive at the end of season 1. So many black people live. It is just a celebration of black life. Soren, my man, Bokeem Woodbine, he lived. Soren is alive. That last episode where he was cornered with Quan Ha, I thought, well, this is it. He about to have a heroic. My man Soren is still alive. Danny Sapani playing Captain Keyes. He got to live. And he was involved with some shady shit, and he got to live and keep his job. Now that is progress. That's a vision of the future that I want to see. A black man in power, accused of doing some shady shit, and gets to keep his job any damn way. I'm loving it. Amanda Keyes, his daughter, she lived and she got a promotion. My man Bentley Kalu, playing Spartan Vanek, lived. Alive. Listen, y'all think I'm joking around, and I kind of am, but you don't understand. Usually, in a big sci-fi show or any kind of big show, they got a black dude in power or a black person in power. They gonna snatch the power from their ass or they gonna off their ass. And so to still see all these black people having their jobs, having their lives, beautiful. I want the show to go 9 seasons on that alone. But let's go into really what I thought worked about the show. What I liked about the Halo show, the first thing I liked about the Halo show is it doesn't worship the Halo soldiers, the Spartans, because you think the name, the connection to ancient Rome. Listen, Hollywood society loves ancient Rome still to this day. Can't get enough of it. People love to pretend like history started at ancient Rome. The ancient Romans used to say. And so I thought by kind of naming these characters after the Spartans, that the show was just going to be a rah-rah Spartan show. But surprisingly and refreshingly, it's not. Matter of fact, the first scene in the first episode is some rebellious, takes place on the planet Madrigal, which has a contingent of rebellion. There are people who are planning to go against society. They're planning a rebellion right there. The show is letting you know, hey, everybody doesn't, get the pom-poms out when they see these Spartans coming. Sometimes these guys, right there, that first scene tells you that sometimes these guys are heroes, but sometimes they're enforcers. And I like the fact that the show right away tells you that your relationship with the Spartans is going to be complicated, and that's cool. Also, the way it shows you that the Spartans are and all that is in the planet when the government of the show sends someone in place to the planet Madrigal. He's a tyrant. He's an abusive, sadistic dude. But the government doesn't care as long as the minerals are being pulled off of that planet. So again, that's another example that these people ain't all they cracked up to be. The second thing about the show that I think really works is the production design. You see the money. Beautifully designed sets, great texture in the costuming, in the design of the areas. Every place has its own personality. The place where the Spartans are, where their main hangout, is very sleek and modern and glowing and smooth and rounded and sometimes very militaristic. Everything has its own flavor. The planet of Madrigal is dusty and gritty and earthy, and you really feel that. And the show does a good job of painting every environment in its own way. The place where the Covenant hang out, that one, it don't look too bad. It kind of looks like a little salon. Looks like you can go and just get your feet done over at the Covenant salon, get one of them weird outfits on, and just relax. Have them teach you some of their religious texts, you get a little enlightened, and then you go. Maybe the Covenant ain't too bad. The interior of spaceships look good to a spaceship nerd. Show me a good cockpit, you got me. Show me a cockpit with, ooh, look at all them switches and buttons and levers. It looked like that shit is real. You got me. So, good job on the ships. The third thing that I really like about the show that I thought was really dope is it shows characters of color in positions of power. Recognized positions of power. Like I said, Captain Keyes, there was a couple of scenes where Captain Keyes walked into the room and he was the guy, in every Bourne movie, there's a guy, all right, eyes here. This is what we're doing. Drop all your shit. That's what you want. You want to get so advanced at your job that you just walk in the room and you tell everybody, stop what you're doing. It's not important. This is what we're doing. Bam. Put your pencil down. And there was a couple of instances where they got him, they got a chance for him to stand in the middle of a control room and bark orders at people. And I like that. I like that. And people recognized him as the authority figure. Like nobody, sometimes in shows, a character of color will be an authority figure, but the other characters won't really recognize it. They'll be a little smart, or they'll, give them some little back talk, but it wasn't really that way with Captain Keyes, and I appreciate that. Also, Shabana Azmi as Admiral Margaret Perengolsky was great. And the little screen time she had a lot of presence. And again, she's high ranking and calls some shots and has a lot of decision-making power that other characters have to recognize. Olive Gray playing Dr. Miranda Keyes, who I believe is a very influential character in the games, has a lot to do in this show and has her own arc as she rises to power. And as I said earlier in the show, got to keep her job and got a damn promotion. So I like that. I like how her character is has a little bit of her mother's moral grayness, not as much as her mother, but her mother's willingness to sort of play outside the rules. But she also has her father's nobility. And it's going to be interesting to see her character sort of teeter-totter between those two poles. And it's great to have her character as an addition to the cast. Also, Josette Simon, who showed up later on in the show as the leader of the Mystics of Madrigal, was a great. That episode in its own was a nice encapsulated little hero's journey for Kwan Ha, and that really helped smooth out her character. And Kwan Ha herself, who her character is a little underdeveloped, but I do see a lot of potential for growth. And I see a lot of spunk with the character. I just hope that they make the character a little more insightful and a little more less impulsive to just run into danger. So there's plenty of room for that character to grow, but I like her also. The fourth thing I think works about the show is the way that it does its world building. It's big and expansive, and it implies that, but it also keeps things tight. There's only a few real planets that we get to focus on. Of course, there's Madrigal, there's the main human planet of Reach, there's There's a couple of places where the government of the show takes place, and then there's the Covenant hangout. And then there's Soren's lair in the asteroid field, and everything just takes place within those few locations. But in conversations and other plot dynamics, we get the sense that this is a much bigger world, but you do that with only a few areas. And I think that works for the show. Fifth thing I think works about this show is it's a solid cast of actors, all doing some solid acting. Everybody's playing their role. There's no one I said like, there's no one, sometimes in shows, everybody will be solid and there'll be one or two. It's like, you guys are kind of holding up the show. But no, everybody pulls their weight on the show, and every character is interesting. Natasha McClone, who plays Dr. Elizabeth Halsey, is a great traditional mad scientist character who is doing outrageous things and even evil and reprehensible things. But because humanity is pushed to the brink by this alien race, so she feels that everything that she does is justified because it's for the greater good. And so a character who is really convinced that everything they're doing is for good reasons is always going to be interesting. So let's talk about Master Chief, the main character of the show. Pablo Schreiber from Den of Thieves and many other movies, to me was an interesting choice because you don't really see him in those action hero leading man roles, but he pulls it off. He should do more of them. He's good at showing menace. He's good at showing tenderness in times where he needed to. He's good at showing confusion and all of that stuff with very little lines and acting with a damn helmet on. Helmet acting has got to be hard, guys. I'm going to show you. Watch. I'm going to show you. I'm going to do something that's probably a bad decision, but I'm going to show you. I'm going to find one of his lines. I'm going to show you how hard it is to do helmet acting. This is how hard it is.
All right. I hope this is showing up on camera. All right. Now, the internet was stingy on lines from the show, so I found some lines just from the game. So, what kind of weapon is it? Don't play any games with me. What kind of weapon is it?
You see? That's not easy. I did that for y'all. Just so you know. Just to illustrate Pablo Schreiber's skills. Good job, man. I really like the fact that the character Soren has a full arc of his own, and that the episode before the last, I think it was either the second to last episode or the one prior to that, where it was basically all about him and Quan Ah. He got his heroic moment, and I thought it was very cool. And now he always has had a different opinion about society than Master Chief, and now they see more eye to eye than ever. But I feel like there's always going to be a conflict of ideals with those two characters, and technically this is a character who has all the training and all the enhancement that Master Chief has, so he is an equal to him, and he's well-rounded, and he has his own presence. He runs his own world. He has his own life, his own existence, and he's a well-rounded character. And I'm very excited to see more of him. Enough with all the cheering and all that stuff. The show ain't perfect, and for fans of the game, most of them probably weren't very happy with the show. They didn't really like it, and this is probably the main reason. It doesn't have enough damn action for a show based off of a first-person shooter. There ain't a lot of first-person shooting or second-person or third-person, and that decision is odd to me because it was probably made because you want to get people to really know and grow with these characters over multiple seasons, because it's already been approved for season 2. and it's one of Paramount Plus's marquee shows, so it's safe to say that it might be on for a few seasons, so they really won't get you attached to these characters. But at the end of the day, it's an action show. I mean, it's an action game. The game is a shooter. So I'm surprised that they didn't pull like a Game of Thrones and have entire episodes that are just all battle. Even in the season finale, that Halo didn't do that. That I was waiting, okay, they kind of have had a couple little spurts of action. I know this last episode is going to be the super climactic video game, just alien action orgy that the game is. And they never quite went for that. If this show is all about, you know, the covenant, the threat of the covenant, I really think you need to have more of the covenant in the show. A lot of it was the interminglings of the soldiers and the conspiracy of how they came to be. But the whole purpose of the soldiers is because the covenant was creating this threat that could potentially wipe out humanity. That's the whole reason why Dr. Housley is doing remote evil work, because she believes that the covenant is that much of a threat that we have to do extreme stuff in order to fight them. So if these people are making these extreme decisions and putting people that they love in danger and, you know, kidnapping kids, you know, why don't you show me exactly why, you know, exactly how much danger humanity is in? I think that's the main thing. The show didn't really give me the sense that the covenant is a real problem for humanity. I had a little trouble with the Reth character. John Myers, the actor who plays him, is excellent. Just really going all out. But just him being black, they really just had him like, you know, damn near being Gollum. You know, just really just reaching for it. And I was like, I see, but the way y'all got him looking and how y'all got him acting, I understand that he's meant to show the danger of the artifact because he had some contact with it and it drove him crazy. And so you're using that character to be a herald of the danger that can happen. And I understand that, but I just felt like y'all had him just a little bit too Gullamy. John Myers, who also plays a character in The Wheel of Time, so he's doing his thing in the fantasy worlds, so that's great. I just think that character could have been smoothed out a little bit more. To sum up, I think the Halo show on Paramount Plus is worth checking out, even though it's not perfect. I think it cares enough about its plot, its characters, and its world building to be worth checking out if you are a huge sci-fi fan such as myself. If you are a huge sci-fi fan and a fan of the games and disappointed by the show, I understand, and I too think it's a little weird to not have a whole lot of action in the show. But maybe that's something that they'll fix in season 2, because it did get renewed. So we'll see. Well, in the meantime, that's going to do it for today's show. As always, I want to thank producer Sean and producer D for all of their hard work. You guys, thank you always for your likes and your comments. Please keep them coming. Please don't forget to hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe to the show so you get all the notifications and you don't miss out on any of the fun. So until next time, I am Jerence George, the head Blerd in charge, and we'll see you again.